Okay, now we're going to practice switching chords between these three that we've learned in this lesson, the G, the C, and the D. We talked about moving between the G and the C. Okay, now let's talk about moving from the D to both the C and the G. From the D, it's pretty much the same principle. If we start at the D, we're going to move from the D to the G. We want to focus on the middle finger of the D this time, okay, down here. And we want to reestablish our G chord with our middle finger up on that top string of the third fret. So we go up, and then our index finger kind of follows along, and then we bring our ring finger down to the bottom string. So it's like that. Just move your fingers, try moving your fingers back and forth from the D to the G, D, and back and forth. It's just the reverse process when going from the G to the D. Focus on the middle finger, coming down, grabbing that bottom string, that F sharp there, and down, up, and down. I guess if you're playing the G, it's pretty much the same thing, except you're focusing on that middle finger. Yes, you see I'm struggling because I don't play the G that way. I guess it's the ring finger I would concentrate on if you're playing the G the alternate way. Move your ring finger up to nailing that top string and then dropping your pinky down. When moving from the D to the C, it's the same thing. We want to focus on our ring finger coming off that second string. And remember, we want to nail that upper C second string down. So we go up and then boom, boom. From there, up, and then we stair step down, D, C. Okay, we need to practice that now, just the way we did with the G with the C. We're just going to add the D in there. So let's set the metronome to 60, get it going. All right, we're going to combine these two exercises. So we're going to start with a G, and we're going to strum 1, 2, 3, 4, and then make that transition between the 4 from the G to the C. And then we're going to do the same thing with the D. So the sequence will be G, C, and D, which happens to be a very common chord progression called a 1-4-5. If you remember from the circle of fifths, 1-4-5. Don't worry about that too much. Okay, so we'll let the metronome count ourselves in. We'll start with the G. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. To the D. 1, 2, 3. Back to the G. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, G. 1, 2, 3, 4. C. 1, 2, 3, 4. D. 2, 3, 4. G. 2, 3, 4. Again, 2, G. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. D. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. C. 2, 3, 4. D. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's set the metronome. Let's set the metronome at 45 this time. So let's stop that, move it down to 45, get it going again. Okay, this time we'll go do the same thing, G, C, D, G. but we're going to strum on every one, making that transition from that fourth beat to the first. So we'll count it in again. It's pretty slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the C. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the D. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the G. 1, 2, 3, 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3 to the D. 1, 2, 3. Back to the G. G, 2, 3, 4. Again. G, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3, 4. D. G, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3, 4. D. 2, 3, 4. G. Okay, let's turn that off. Okay, as I'm sure you noticed, I, I did exactly what I told you to try not to do. And that's when I was doing the first part of that exercise, I was pausing on the downstroke while I reformatted and reformulated where I wanted my fingers to go. There's a lot going on there, and that's fine if you need to pause while you get your finger placement on there. But if at all possible, try and keep that strumming hand going. It's something that we want to just make second nature. The other thing I probably should notice is if I bumped it up to 45, if that was a little too quick and you weren't able to come in on that first beat on the second half of that exercise in time, then by all means drop it back down to 40 or to any beat per minute to allows you to get in place in time for that next one beat on the metronome. Accuracy is much more important than speed at this point. The other thing you can do is we went to what, G, C, D on that exercise. You can mix it up too. You can go G, D, C, D, G, back and forth. Just mix it up, keep things interesting. So that's it for this exercise. One more little video to do for this lesson. There's a worksheet at the end, and um, I'm going to ask you to do it. I'll go through it with you, and we'll do it together there. And just keep practice.